So we're just gonna start this video off with a nice relaxing dough in. Brewing my dry RyeRish stout recipe today. My parents are visiting in about a little over a month's time. They're flying into Denmark, and my dad is a huge fan of Guinness. So I thought that I would, and this is sort of my, if you've never seen this recipe on my channel before, this is kind of my homage to Guinness, but instead of using flaked barley, we're using both flaked oats and then rye malt in it as a significant part of the grist. So this beer is all pale ale malt, rye malt, a little bit of flaked oats, and then a huge amount of roasted barley, like 400 grams of roasted barley. You can already see it doing its magic in there. It's based on a recipe from Mash Maker, the book Mash Maker, and it's kind of loosely based on that. But today so I'm a big fan of dry Irish stout, Guinness in particular, but the style itself, I love it. I love a nice, easy drinking, like dark beer. And yeah, it'll be the perfect beer to have on while my dad is here. Nice low ABV, kind of just Guinness clone to have on tap while he is here. Gonna be, I'm pretty sure, so it's it's also kind of a loose brew day because I had all of the malts, which is fine. I had them all on hand. It's kind of a last minute trip that they're taking. We didn't, kind of a deal came up and they took the deal. Flying out of Chicago, flying to Copenhagen, and then, so I had all the ingredients, like all the malts on hand, but I would usually make this with Willamette hops, and I'm not sure if I have those, so we're gonna have to go into the freezer and kind of look what I've got for kind of a either English style or very light American hop. This is kind of a hybrid recipe of American Irish stout, rye Irish stout. It's kind of all over the place. And then I know I have US-05 in there. I want to do it with I would love to do it with US-04, but I'm not sure. I've got to go through my yeast box too and see what I've got on hand. It was sort of a, oh, well, they're coming, so I want to brew this beer, but I also really don't have the time to order everything specific. So we're just going to go with what we got. I think I have a pack of US-04 in there. If I do, that's what's going to go in to ferment this. If not, it's going to be US-05. We'll see that, I guess, later in the video. But for now, mashing in. Gotta bring the flow down on this this bad boy here. You can see it's whirlpooling pretty good. Yeah, drop the temp. We're mashing in. We're mashing at 66 degrees Celsius, but we dropped down. It's pretty cold today, so putting the grain in. The grain was pretty chilly. It's end of October, so Denmark is relatively cold. Actually, I've got it's 15 degrees in here, but I've had the heater running for a while, so it gets down below 10 degrees. So that's probably what the grain was at. So anyway, long story short, we dropped to 63.5 degrees. We're coming back up. I'm gonna call that though. I'm not feeling any dough balls. This is a no sparge today, full. So we're going for 20 liters, a full keg of beer. My recipe, I shoot for somewhere around 1050. So I shoot for 5% is fine with me, 5.2% is fine with me, 4.8% is fine with me. So as long as it's somewhere in there, we will be cool. I am not super picky as long as it's not like a 6-7% Irish stout, which we are not looking for. We're looking for easy drinking. Actually, to be honest with you, I'll probably drop it down to 65. Then we're at target now, because I like the stout to dry out. It's gonna dry out anyway, but we'll mash as low as we can just to maximize dryness. I kind of know this recipe. It's kind of like, other than the exact grain measurements for this no sparge, I know the recipe, like I know what to do with it. So I think this is the beer I've brewed probably the most times. But yeah, no dough balls. So we are going to, let's take a look at that color. Already got a pretty nice color going. Just gonna rinse the mash paddle off here. Dump this back in. Mash paddle goes to the side. Lid goes on. We're gonna get a timer going, and yeah, let's go check on some hops and yeast. Hey kids, look at that! Everything is coming up Millhouse. We got Magnum for bittering. We got Willamette. I found some, should be just about enough, probably like 20 grams in there. And 04 was in the old yeast bank. So yeah, we got everything we need for the recipe. It just happened to all be on hand. So great. We're about halfway through the mash. I'm gonna get some hops weighed out, and yeah, we'll see you at the boil. $18 grams of Magnum at 60 minutes. All right, 25 grams of Willamette going in at 10 minutes. Yum, yum, yum. All right, welcome to the tasting of the dry RyeRish Stout. We've got it right here in a glass. Funny story, and you'll hear it repeated. I just finished doing the tasting for the oatmeal brown ale, toasted oatmeal brown ale. And when I was editing these videos together, so I brewed this beer, both of them, but specifically this one in the beginning of November. And I did all the footage and stuff. It's kind of hasty. You can probably feel that from the footage itself. But because I was brewing these beers to have ready for Thanksgiving, because my parents were coming for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to have, some of my dialed in recipes and stuff that I knew that my dad would like on. Hence this, my brother and I do this dry RyeRish Stout. This is like one of our house recipes. He and I have, I think, more or less the same recipe, but it's slightly, maybe a little bit different. But more or less the same. Obviously different ingredients. I use all European malt. He uses probably mostly American malt. But okay, regardless, my dad really loves this beer. He drinks it all the time with my brothers. I wanted to have my version on too, and he and I both drank it a lot. And I realized when I was editing the footage, I thought that before they arrived, before Thanksgiving, I thought that I had done tasting for both of these beers. And I realized that no, I hadn't. There was no tasting footage. And I know that this may be like the last full pint of this keg. So I'm really glad. I fully expected this to kick when I was pouring this for the video. But this is the dry RyeRish Stout. You can see it looks just absolutely friggin' gorgeous in the glass. I mean, look at that. Head sticks around. I had it dialed to the absolute perfect carbonation while my dad was here, which is funny because I had the brown ale was completely screwed. I overcarbonated it. This one was great. Now I've kind of flip-flopped them, so this one's a little bit overcarbonated, but I mean, you can see it's still got its tight white head. It's been sitting around for a couple minutes while I've been messing around. Went in to get some water as a palate cleanser and, blah, blah, blah. Black, stouty, looks very stoutish. That head's nice and tan. Oh, this smell, man. Oh, the smell of this beer. So I can't remember how much I went into detail in the actual brew day footage, because when I say I edited it, it's not like I didn't watch the whole thing back. I just cut the clips together. I know I need to get better, but I need to get back into good editing. But anyway, so this is I mean, it's almost only 3 grains. So there's a lot of rye in it, a shit ton of rye, a shit ton of roasted barley, and then it's pale ale malt. And I hopped with, so it's bittered with Magnum, and then there's some Willamette in it as well. And the smell, it never gets old. It's like, it smells. It's not as sweet smelling as Guinness, even though that's kind of like the style we're going to emulate, only instead of using flaked barley, it's rye. And it's got a tinge of that rye, that kind of unmistakable, I've come to think that maybe it's not spicy anymore, but it's just it's a more earthy, more aromatic like grain than you eat a lot of rye bread here in Denmark, and it definitely doesn't smell like normal wheat bread. So it's got a little bit of that. It's got a little bit of like dark fruit and roast from that roasted barley. But it's not even like, it's not strong. It's very light. The aroma is very, it's just like a Guinness where it doesn't it doesn't jump out of the glass and punch you in the face like some like aggressive stouts. It's just super subtle, very nice. It's also very cold. It's very cold out here. I had to turn the heater off because it makes a lot of noise. So, or I'm also at 5 minutes again without taking a drink. Here we go. Yeah. So this is my classic, mine and my brother's classic recipe. I didn't screw around with this. In the past, I've messed around with the yeast. I've messed around with the hops. This is just straight ahead. And man, this is one of my house recipes. So like this is probably the beer that I have brewed the most times ever. I think this is the 7th or 8th time I've brewed this beer, which may not sound like a lot of times, but I don't brew a lot of recipes over and over again. So for me, this is a lot. Smooth. It's so insanely smooth. And it's not that Guinness smoothness that comes from the roasted barley and the beer gas from the nitrogen. This one is smooth in a different way in that it's got a lot of body to it, but it's not like thick. It's thick in a way that's like not sugary thick. It's like it's that rye that like builds that body up. Without making it like really heavy. This is heavier. This is actually, it's funny. I way overshot my numbers. I got really crazy efficiency on this. So this beer is meant to be about 5%, like 5.2% is where I usually aim between 4.8 and 5.2. That's my sweet spot on this beer. This is 6%. Because I got insane efficiency and I didn't feel like trying to dilute it because I also got the volume I wanted, so I would have had to like split it into, my fermenters can only hold so much, and so I just went with a slightly stronger version, and honestly you cannot tell. This beer is dangerous at 6%. My dad and I drank quite a few of these, and you could tell that he was expecting, and I still had it in my head that this is a low alcohol beer, and it would get to be like, oh man, after 2 or 3 pints of that, you're flying, man, you're up there, you've got it. It's a little bit more of a buzz than you get from a couple pints of Guinness, is what I'll leave it at. I think the only thing I did bump off of normal on this is I think I tried to bump the bitterness up a little bit, and I actually like it. Sometimes the roasted barley can, and especially when I played with the yeast and the hops, the roasted barley kind of made this kind of sickly, like dark fruit flavor, like dates. That's not what I like. This has like a decent bitterness to it from the roasted barley and from the nice bittering charge. And that really, this is probably the best batch I brewed. I'll always remember the first time I brewed it. I brewed it for my 10th wedding anniversary, where I had also had my parents over, and I had my brother over, and we drank a lot of I think we killed all the beers that I brewed for that. We killed them all. This one in particular, though, I think that batch was great. It's probably going to be my all-time favorite batch because it was the first one and it was for an occasion. This one, though, definitely tied for like. I'm glad that I took some pretty decent notes this last time because I'm really trying to lock in my house recipes. So I'm basically, my no notes would be, I would not change anything on this beer. Nothing. So I'll put the recipe down below. It's based on it was originally based on Michael Dawson recipe from Mashmaker, so I want to credit him for sure. It is changed from his recipe, but it's definitely forked off of his recipe. It's definitely a remix. So I definitely want to give him credit for such a fantastic beer. But this is just great. This is my house stout. No questions asked. Dry RyeRish stout. If you love dry stout and you want to give it just a little something, you want to change it up a little bit, try rye. It's like one of those commercials for drugs. Is rye right for you? If you have 3 pints of rye stout and start seeing double, please contact your doctor. All right, I've reviewed this beer before on the channel. You can go back and look at like previous times I've done this. This is definitely the definitive version though. So check out the recipe. It'll be in the description. And yeah, not much more to say about this. It was a big hit. At Thanksgiving, this one was the one that the in-laws and my parents, my mom, but my mom doesn't drink dark beer, but my in-laws definitely loved this one. My dad loved it. It's my brother's favorite recipe, so definitely recommend it. And yeah, cheers. We'll see you on the next one.